Welcome, welcome. What's up? We are here to another podcast, Conversation Dot Family. Uncle Me Short, the author, the new book, I'm Not Your Black America. I got a couple of my partners who came on here to hang out with me and everything. I'm glad to have. Let me go ahead and introduce them to the broadcast and everything. Leonard Walker, what's up, man? Welcome to the broadcast, man.
Yeah, I'm good,
Yeah.
man. I'm good.
And then I got some people say it's my arch rivalry here, Goldie, what's up, man? Welcome to the show, man.
Now
It's
you
all
doing?
good. It's all good. Man, there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot of stuff happening and everything. So why don't y'all just tell me a little bit what's going on? Well, first, I guess let me just do this, everything. I want to tell everyone that had the opportunity to read my book. I want to thank for those that I've been getting a lot of responses from reading my book. A lot of the brothers that has read my book, um, I've had a lot of brothers because I dropped a lot of personal stuff. I don't want to tell it all because I want you to go get my book, but there's some personal stuff I dropped in my book and everything. And a lot of brothers have actually called me, text me, and has acknowledged that they too had experienced some of the same things that I experienced, and they never really wanted. My couple dudes said they haven't even told their parents about what happened, and I encouraged them that they needed to tell their parents. They tell somebody about what happened to them and everything. And Leonard, since you read my book, I don't Goldie haven't read it yet. You know what I'm talking about, right? The real personal stuff that I dropped. Even my wife said, you mentioned my wife was a little, and you dropped some real personal stuff out there. And I said, one of my biggest things I've learned is that if you want to win people trust, respect, and confidence, you got to be a little transparent. But Leonard, what do you say about um, any man, okay, specifically men, okay, that have had some personal things that happen in their lives, whether it be sexual abuse, anything? How do you think they should address that? Do you think you could continue going quiet and silent about it? Do you not think that have something to may have something to do with your behavior and the things that's going on? Just jump right into that because literally, Leonard, I don't have 5 men, brothers, that said they would have never said it, but they felt encouraged to come out and say it and tell me about it because of some things going on with them. What do you say to that,
That's a difficult thing within our culture because of the stigmas that are attached to it, as far as men
man?
showing
Right,
weakness, right? And that's what it really, you're showing vulnerability. Um, our men are not supposed to be vulnerable. We're not supposed to show emotions. We're not supposed to be weak. Not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to, all of these types of things. And we've been conditioned that way. And irregardless, things
right,
happen to us. Okay, things happen, and we just bury them. You got untold amounts of men, all right, within our culture that have had things happen. They've gone to the
right,
grave with gone to the grave. So they've buried these things. I think like I said, and it's all psychological trauma. A lot of times, when you look and see things happening to people or people acting a certain way or behaving a certain way, some people say, oh, that's just a bad seed. That's not normal behavior. It's not normal to act out and do all kinds of things. And a lot of times you got some deep-seated issues or root causes that have caused these people to act out that they have not dealt with. So, like I said, I think your book serves as a vehicle to help men who've experienced things that they don't want to talk about them. That's one thing about our culture is we don't have anybody to
right.
talk to, right? I mean, if we talk to people, oh man, you just making excuses, or you just being weak, or you being soft, or you being fragile, or you being, so instead of getting labeled
We
all of
just
that
hold it
and
on to us. Yeah, we
having
just
this
hold it
carry,
all.
right, carrying the right, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. All right, when you still a human being, instead of us you know being sympathetic or even having a venue or a platform for us to be able to talk about things, we don't have that. So that's what I think that's a good thing about your book, is it opens up what I like to call some of the dirty
Skeleton.
secrets that we have
Yeah,
within our
title
community.
title
Yeah,
of my chapters one on skeleton. Hey, Gold, you got any skeletons, man? You want to drop with us, man? You got anything you want? You know any family skeletons and everything? You know what we talking about, man? You know the those deep skeletons, those things that we don't want anybody to know about, but they're real. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got skeleton, but it's not really. I don't look at it as a bad thing anymore. My old stepsister's best friend used to spend the night at the house, and she used to make me and my brother do
Wow.
stuff to her. Like she was like 17, we was like 11 and 12. And I didn't see it as traumatic. We used to argue over who was gonna get in the bed with her first. So, I mean, as far as that's the most traumatic thing that I've had in
Right.
my life. So, you know,
Yeah.
but
so
I
just to
think,
pick. Wait,
huh?
go ahead. I was getting ready to piggyback off of that because
Yeah,
you
because
bring
we
up an
like,
interesting point.
hey, if you don't let me go first, I'm gonna tell. But I mean, men like Lynn was saying, men all have skeletons and stuff that they hide, and usually the toughest acting men usually have the most
That's
stuff to
funny.
hide,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and I tell you, some brothers with the most stuff to hide is those brothers coming out of the
mm,
penitentiary.
mm,
Those brothers are dealing with some psychological trauma because anybody that's been in
mm,
prison for say 5 or more years, they've had contact with other men. I don't give a damn what none of them say. Because I got a buddy that did day for day for years in the prison. And he was talking about, there's a prison culture that if you're the man, then you're not gay. So those brothers don't see themselves as doing gay activities in prison. Then they come out of here, and then they got to deal with that stuff
mm.
psychologically because they know what they
Right,
did. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So we got a lot of scars in our community of men that, need to be addressed. But,
Yeah,
like I'm saying, we were taught to
yeah,
be
yeah,
tough,
yeah.
and I
We were
talk
taught
about
to be.
stuff. Well, and that's why I believe that's why we die. We die before women. We suffer in silence and keep stuff in. And I got to be a man. I got to be strong, and that stuff
Mm,
eats you from the
yeah,
inside.
yeah. And
So
Right quick,
go ahead.
right quick, right quick. I want to bring something out that Goldie just said. Um, he talked about how it was a female that did sexually inappropriate things with him and his brother. This is something this typically when you hear about these things, it's always males. It's always the
Right.
uncle or the
What you saying?
granddad or never do never do you hear about the auntie or the cousin or the cousin's friend. Usually that happens whenever we hear something about that, it's always a homosexual
Right,
encounter or a
right.
lesbian encounter, right? A same sex encounter. But you never hear about, how you have boys being, matter of fact, the movie Antoine Fisher, that's what
Oh
that was about.
yes,
Antoine Fisher started.
yes.
Yeah, that's what that was about. It's
hey,
about how, how he was molested as a boy by, a female
that's good.
relative.
A lot of my buddies in high school were having sex with grown women when we were
Wow.
in high school.
Yeah. And see, but
Like, yeah,
here's the thing about that is we grew up in a culture where if you was a boy having
You was a
sex with a
man.
woman,
You
then that was cool.
was a man,
You exactly,
but
but you're
still
still a
a boy.
boy. That's the thing is you still doing
Having your
things.
innocence,
You're still doing
having your
things.
innocence, like I talk about in my book.
Yeah, you
Once your innocence is stolen from you, you can't
right.
go back. There's no going back. Okay,
Thank
once your innocence is stolen.
but
no,
Misha,
no.
that's encouraged from
You, mm,
fathers.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, My father told me one time. My father's a good man. I love my father. He told me one time that I act too silly. I need to go get me some pee. My father told me that as a teenager. I was in like 10th grade. Yeah. And it's like encouraged. It's encouraged with boys. We aren't taught to say no. We aren't taught to sit with our legs closed. We aren't taught to not do this, not do that. Where we take girls, and girls are taught not to do this, don't do that. Don't. We weren't taught that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's encouraged from our uncles and stuff. To go get all many girls as you can. It's like it's kind of destructive,
If
to be
my
honest.
if
It's almost a
right,
rite of passage is
Yeah.
what it
yeah,
turned into, and like you said, is one of the things, and I've said this, is we have to tell our boys it's okay to be a virgin
yeah,
till you get married.
you're right. It's
It's all
okay.
right, because like I said, is when it comes that time and you ready for it, it's all right. Just like with girls, you always talk about girls, remaining.
They
Boys
need to
need to
remain.
remain virgins because
And
you
Leonard,
know
I'm glad you went there because that's one of the things in the Unification Church that I really came to appreciate, even though I was sexually active and abused and taken advantage of. But I really appreciate, when I was out there, I hung out with dogs, but I was a little pup. I wasn't experienced as some of the brothers I hung out with and everything. So I used to hear the conversation from a lot of the women and sisters and everything. I told you about this, Leonard. Not every woman that I kicked it with, I was tapping. A lot of them, I was just their friend and everything. We were just friends and everything.
right,
Friends without all the benefits and everything. We were just good friends. And
right,
I remember those sisters used to talk to me about, you know, men that they had been in relationship with and everything, and how many of them was either immature or, many of them, you know, how their behavior and everything was just so inappropriate and everything. But I don't mind telling you, man, that the the Unification Church helped me to realize the importance of a male and a female experiencing a relationship innocent together. Okay, and that's what a couple of those guys was telling me, and I was like, wow. I felt like it was stolen from me. Okay, if you read my book, you understand. I had that stolen from me. I didn't have that experience, so I went into relationships even when I had a good woman who may have not had the relationships many times. Even I treated her in a manner as if something was wrong with her because she wasn't actively knowledgeable about what it is that I understood. And that's our messed up head and everything, man. That's so it is interesting. But I want to slide this right into this as well. Um and this is real talk, man. You all know that I made contact with my grandmother, 102 years old, and that was a beautiful thing. I hadn't even been using the name Floyd for 55 years, man, because my father, Charles E. Daniels, he adopted me, so he gave me that last name Daniels. So here I find my grandmother, Lily Bell Floyd, and man, she drops a whole lot of good stuff on me. But the deep part about this is that I met my little brother I hadn't seen for 55 years. Now, I had known about my real father and I had heard about my real father. But let me explain something to you, bro. When my little brother told me about my father and what he experienced, because my little brother went to prison and he came back and he heard on the street about somebody, seducing young boys and this and that. And when he discovered it was our pop, he said, "Oh my God." Pop had been married 3 times and everything, but had a thing for young males and everything. So he lived a double life. But I just want to say to you on the air and to you all, man, that was a learn to unlearn moment for me, bro, because it also answers some of the things that I had been going through trying to find out, my sexuality. Not that I ever tried anything homosexual, but I had already had my father, Charles Daniels, who used to always pick on me about what you were saying. Be a man, go out and do that stuff. Why, stop crossing your legs. I mean, it was all type of that type of stuff. You're gonna be a faggot like your father. What are you talking about? And so to hear that from my brother, bro, let me tell you something, man. It was an eye opener. Skeleton that led to why I put so much of that in my book. I was just wanted to, and I feel like that's part of the reason as we talking about that. I think that, when the producer put this together, this is a segment all by itself. The tragedies in our early years can affect your current years if you don't get a handle on it. What do you say to that, Goldie?
It's true. I was raised by my father. My mother wasn't around. I didn't see my mother for, let's see, last time I saw my mother, I was 7 years old. And then I get a phone call from California, and I was 33, maybe
Mm,
34, and they needed someone to come get her. And that's the next time I saw my mother. Didn't talk to her, didn't have a relationship with her, but my father was an excellent provider. But my father had
mm,
a lot of women. And as a child, I was hiding my dad's car for him. I was lying to women for my dad, covering for my
right.
dad. And I learned a lot of bad habits with women. And I've spent most of my adult
Fighting. Yeah.
life operating those
Mm,
habits and fighting those
mm,
demons, And, in my last relationship, I cheated on every woman I was ever with. I'd never been faithful. And how I attempted to be faithful in my last marriage is I know me, I couldn't go out without her. So I took her with me everywhere I
mm.
went. And people say they got a lot of trauma when they wasn't raised with their dads, but there's a lot of trauma when you're not raised with your
Amen, bro.
mother. Because I never had that feminine side of life growing up. You know what I'm saying? I never had anybody hug me and say, "Hey, I love you," or kissing on me
Without
and all that
wanting
kind of stuff. I
something
never
from
had
it.
that.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So I've always had that extra
Yeah.
masculine,
Right.
be tough, don't show any emotion, no empathy, and I struggle with that to
Yeah.
this day. Even in relationships
Right.
with women. Sometimes I don't know how to relate to. I don't know how to be sensitive. I feel it on the inside, but I don't know how to bring it out because I never
Right.
was
Right.
allowed to as a kid. I never had training wheels. My dad didn't believe in it. He just pushed you 700 miles down the street, and if you fall and your kneecaps hanging off, get right back on the bike. So, yeah,
Yeah.
our past develop. It makes us who we are as human beings, and you know, I think we judge people or treat people a certain way,
Not
not
knowing this.
knowing the
Not
traumas that
knowing that. Yeah.
when they
Not
was a
knowing
kid.
the early years.
You
Don't
know,
knowing what they tried. All this ties into my book. What do you say, Leonard? That's right. This. Those are the titles in my book. Early years and skeletons. Okay. And boy, Goldie, when you crack my book open, bro, you gonna. I had some people like, brother, hey, I literally had some people come over and especially some of my European male friends, man. They came and, a couple of my doctor friends, they came up to me and hugged me. Said, dude, I didn't know, dude. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, but enough of that. Yeah, just move on. Yeah, let's talk about something else. You brought up a point about something. We might as well stay a little bit in this about the transgender from Nevada competing in the Miss America pageant is the new thing now. What the hell going on, man? What the hell going on, man? A, a dude. I'm gonna do what you said last time you was on here. Putting on costume. You. That's all you. You putting on costume. Okay. to look a certain way, and we allowing that to happen. But then you notice there's a lot of the American, European men, white men, who's getting away with that nonsense, man. And then you said in track and field too, but isn't that some crazy stuff, man? I'm just blown away by that, man. I mean, 50 years ago, somebody would have said that crap. You would have slapped the hell out. What the wrong with you, boy? Get that crap out of here. You gotta get out of here with that nonsense, right? I mean,
That stuff is done selectively. It's done selectively because until you see a trans athlete basketball player join the WNBA, all right, Joanna Man join the WNBA, all right, then it's done selectively, all right. So you got these pageants, you got this, in which you've already had trans athletes in MMA. Valen Fox, okay, was a biological male fighting against females, okay? Having to take, my whole thing is, if you got to take all of these beta blockers and all of these, all of these drugs to decrease your testosterone, isn't that performance enhancing drugs? To me, it is. I mean, it decreases your performance as a man, but it allows you to compete it as a female. So to me, that how is it that's not performance enhancing? All right. If you're doing all of this stuff to say, well, biologically I'm a male, and I'm, my body chemistry is going to make it to where, I'm going to have a physical advantage over females, but in my mind, I think I'm a female. See, so like I said, it's all of this stuff is done as a distraction. I told you, like I said, is when you saw, I'm gonna tell you, when you saw formerly Bruce Jenner, I'm gonna say formerly known as Bruce Jenner, all right, who's Caitlyn Jenner now, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, all right, transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner, and made the deal with ESPN and got Woman of the Year by
and
ESPN. You already knew the handwriting was on the wall. It was already, now you already start to see the things. And the thing is the more our society, what you got to say is, all of these types of things, right? All of these types of things, people can act like, well, that's not, well, I don't care, to each his own, all this. And, to
draw.
some
You gotta
point,
draw
to
a
some
line
degree, you
somewhere,
say
man.
that. You say,
Just
well,
go ahead and say that. You gotta draw
to
a
each his
damn
own.
line.
But at some point, you feel something in the pit of your stomach, right? That says, now wait a minute, this is not right. What's going on here? Right? See, so while all of this is going on, and they know that people are going to feel some type of way, the thing we got to ask ourselves is, why are we all engaged in all of this kind of stuff
What
and what
else going on?
society's doing? What are the politicians? Yeah, what are the politicians and the leaders? What are they doing behind our back to where we don't see because we're too focused on this over here? See, so like I said, I've never been a Miss America pageant type person anyway. I really didn't care for Miss America, Miss Universe, Miss USA, none of that. So I've never been a pageant type person. So I really don't care, right? But at the same time, I know a lot of people do care, and it's the whole
Mm.
premise of it, right?
What's your take on
So,
this?
so like I said, so now,
What's your take on
yeah,
this,
go
Goldie?
ahead.
Miss Trans USA.
I'm not gonna mince words. You can cancel me if you want to. It's bullshit. My grandmother's 99 years old. She's been female for 99 years. And you get some jackass weirdo that wants to put a wig on and put some heels on. And now he's telling my grandmother that he's a woman and she's a cis woman. It's preposterous that you're going to tell a 99-year-old woman who's had a womb, who's had a vagina, for 99 years that she's a cis woman, CIS, and this weirdo dude is a woman now, and we're supposed to accept that stuff. See, these homosexuals, they don't want inclusion into society. Because personally, I don't care who you screw. But when you try to make me
Yeah,
accept this trans whatever, and I tell you, what's even more baffling to me is the
yeah,
women that put up with this. Women been fighting for their rights. They didn't want men to tell them that you can't tell me what to do with my body. You can't tell me this. But then they let these weirdos come around, and they'll make these men with penises probably longer than mine woman of the year.
right.
It's sick, and I don't give a damn. It's sickness. It's mental illness, and then we can't let these women off to those
Yeah, yeah. We
studs.
can't.
You got running around here with strap-on penises under their pants.
Yeah. Hey,
And
hey, hey, Goldie. Speaking of that, so I got a niece. You know, cute little girl. Cute little girl when she was a little young thing. Right, doing what she doing. And all of a sudden, when 3-4 years and everything, she done went, she done went, she done went dyke. She done went no dude on me. Okay, dude. And so she gon' hey now Liddy, you know what? She didn't know who she's messing with, right? She gonna come on my Facebook page and gonna tell me, I don't you address me in that manner no more. I'm this is who I am and this that. Yeah, yeah. I said, let me say something. Let me explain something to you. You always gonna be niece to me. I don't give a flip what you say. You always gonna be niece to me. Okay. I said, yeah, and I'm
right,
just keeping it. Uh, I've been walking in this, and you trying to cut, oh, bro, you trying to step to me like an alpha. I said, you are faking an alpha. I'm the real McCoy. You better back yourself back off of me. I said, if you can't come correct now, you need to get your butt off my page and don't even come here again. But don't you ever step to me as you trying to be an alpha. I say, you're faking something that I'm a natural with. I say, so you're gonna mess around and get your feelings hurt. I say, so you're gonna always be niece? I don't know you any other way. You're gonna be niece? That's it. Okay, get up. I can't believe you're talking to me. Hey, you stepped to me. Am I right? You stepped to me. What you thought? You thought I was gonna sugarcoat it? Man, it's crazy out here, dude. I, I I'm glad I'm growing up. I'm glad all my kids are grown. I don't have no kids going to school. I mean, look what now you have in the school system telling parents what will and will not happen for your kids. Have you ever heard of such a thing? The school telling you or what you will and will not do with your child? Leonard, can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, you think about it like this: is at one point in time you had to have
Yeah,
vaccination in order to
right,
go to school. So, and if you didn't have your shot record, you couldn't go to school. And if you couldn't go to school and get an education and you wasn't in school, the police could come and get your
right.
parents. See, it all started
Mm,
right there. All right. So vaccination and all of the I can remember as a child getting
right,
polio vaccinated in school. My parents didn't know nothing about it. They just come with a little thing and see so like I said, it's been that way longer than we actually think, longer than we realize. Is it's been that way. See, so and it starts off doesn't start off, all of a sudden, bam. We just gonna start doing this. It starts off, with little things. Everybody say, well, yes, polio, measles, chicken pox, the mumps, all of these vaccines and say, yeah, that's a good thing because you get all these kids, communicable, right? So yeah, that's a good thing. And then it's one more thing. Oh, and by the way, we got this right here. And by the way, we got that right there. And by the way, we got these kids that instead of calling her or him, we call him or her. And by the way, this, that, and other. And by the way, these kids are dressing like this. And by the way, see, so it escalates, all right? But this is public school, right? That's how public school works, right? So this is why you have a movement going on right now where a lot of people are trying to homeschool kids. But we as a community, our
We
community,
don't even know
we can't
anything, and,
afford
and
that. We
that's
can't, you
crazy
know.
when you think about it. We don't even understand the importance of learning probably how to homeschool, or at least have the ability to take your child, or have the finances to take your child to another school, or everything that you privately paying for, and everything that you get in the education. What is wrong with it? This go okay. Don't let me ask no question like that. No, I'm not even gonna go through that. I already know. I mean, I'm not. The hell. What
Ask
the
it.
hell? I was about to ask that question. What the hell? No, I already know what the hell. We have gotten so conditioned. And go. You have talked about this before. We talked about the reparation and all the other crap and everything. And we've gotten so used to being so dependent on somebody doing something for us and everything. And that thing has gone on for 6 and 7 years and everything. That all we do is sit around and complain and whine about what somebody's doing for us, doing for them and everything. And that's mean taking care of our kids and everything and doing everything else. At some point, man, I mean, well, let me keep it real. I do believe there's a change on the horizon. I think I'm gonna go right here. I think the Alabama thing, Montgomery, Alabama, could potentially, if looked at properly, it can be the paradigm shift that cause some new reactions, some new things to happen. That's how I'm looking at it. I won't let it go because I think it got some. I even speak about it. I was working around some of my European friends, and I brought it up just to have wanted them to understand that I knew and understood. Do you know what's going? You might find this. You know that they didn't even want to talk about it. They they didn't want to. They wanted. I wanted to. You know what I wanted to do, right, Leonard? I wanted to have some fun with it, right? You know, they they would they wouldn't even allow me to have the little fun I was trying to have. They didn't want to talk about it because they knew what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to the fact that there's some change, there's some changes coming along. Now, but you know what, Leonard? They wouldn't even allow me to have it, man. And I thought, so I left it alone because they wouldn't bite. They they wouldn't bite, man. So hey man, hey Goldie, do you not think some changes on? Do you think that the Montgomery, Alabama, is a possible potential paradigm shift for us culturally? Because that was about some men. When the last time you seen, our generation ain't never seen men act and do what they did at Montgomery, Alabama, stood up and, swim, a cheer. I mean, I don't care how crazy you might think. But, I mean, and again, let me qualify this for anybody saying, me, Sean, is condoning violence. And no. I'm not saying that I'm condoning violence. But I am condoning standing up and handling your business and sending a message. And as far as I'm concerned, that Montgomery, Alabama could potentially be a start of something if we go about it right. What you say about that, Goldie? I mean, what do you say, man? Get it.
I don't. I don't think so. I mean, it was an event. It was. I think our people are too interested in being
Mm,
entertained. Now the event's over. They had 3-4 days of laughing and all of that. Negroes done moved on to something else. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not. I don't think that's going to be the catalyst for change. That situation is not bad enough. The only thing that's going to change the situation for us in this country is something catastrophic is going to happen as to where we're going to have to stick together for real. You know what I'm saying? This
yeah, you
situation in
don't think that?
Alabama, it was
So
entertaining.
you just don't think
No,
that was the one. It kind of led to it, but you don't think it's the main. It's
no,
not the one that's going to really kick.
no. It was just no. No, no. It's not. It's not.
It wasn't fatal. It
It
wasn't
hasn't
bad
got
enough.
bad enough here. Yeah, it hasn't got bad enough here. Like, okay, you look at the brothers and sisters in the continent of Africa. They tired and they doing something
Right,
about it. Because situation has
right.
gotten that bad. Here, I mean, I mean, everything's good. Everything's good. And Yeah, we laughed about it. I even got a hat over there that came in the mail, and "Make America Great Again" with the white chair on it, but nobody's talking about it no more. So I think if Tamir Rice didn't do it, if George Floyd didn't do it, if Breonna Taylor didn't do it, the one young brother that got killed by
George Simlin.
what's that? Yeah, if that didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, let's go all the way back.
Tamir
Rodney King. What about
Tamir
Rodney
Rice should have been. Yeah, Tamir Rice should have been the powder keg. You got a 12-year-old little boy playing with a toy gun in a park. The police pull up, don't even stop the car all the way, and the police officer in the passenger side guns him down.
If that didn't do it, yeah.
And Negro said nothing. So it's not bad enough yet. It's not. Because guess what, Michon? You got a nice, you live in a nice subdivision. Leonard, you live in nice. White folks ain't bothering you like that. White folks ain't bothering me like that. So too many of us, it ain't bad enough for us yet. And until it gets bad for all of us, then I don't think nothing's going to change.
Where you slide this right, we just might as well go right in this conversation. All right. Leonard sent me a video talking about the immigration and how the people who the immigrants been working. And listen, we've been being moved out of position for quite a long time. I mean, I didn't really, Leonard, I have to be honest with you, bro. I didn't realize how far back it gone. I mean, this is this thing is actually intentional. Okay, this ain't no happenstance. Okay, this is some intentional stuff. I think was when you said was that Claude Anderson said that we now number two. Were number two. We done moved down to number three. We got to get down to number four. What do we think we gonna get at number four if we didn't get nothing at number two? Okay. I think what you talking about, Goldie. I think it's about to get real. I think it's gonna get real bad. Okay. Here.
When the last time you been to your hometown,
brother? I just was. Oh, you out Miami? I already know. It's bad. It's terrible there.
If you're not Cuban or speak Spanish in Miami,
anyone who can speak Spanish.
But if you're not, you're not gonna advance in jobs. You're not gonna get contracts. They run Florida and Miami.
I was in the heart of Liberty
White
City,
folks
bro.
ain't running.
My wife, I took my wife. We in the heart of Liberty City. It used to be my hood. And restaurants I went to were Haitians and speaking Spanish and everything. I mean, it was like, where are my people at? And then I did find my people. We live in terrible, okay? Yeah. We like boxed into an area and everything that you don't even want to go in. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, bro. I was down in Miami. I saw how bad it was. Terrible.
Yeah, so it's bad. And with all these Mexicans coming into the country, they're not coming in wanting to build a coalition with us. They don't do that, And I respect their hustle because they're together. They support each other. They support each other's businesses. And Mishan can open up a hot dog stand, and you could open up your hot dog stand right in the West End. And a Mexican or an Arab could come in and open up a hot dog stand right next to you. Black folks walk right past yours and go in there. And you will never see a Mexican, an Arab, or say anybody Chinese supporting any black-owned businesses. But who keeps these people afloat? We do.
Yeah.
What? Girl?
Yeah.
Oh, this is my brain.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, Leonard.
Well, I'm gonna say this. And like I said, it's that video I sent you. We talked about how the Congressional Black Caucus, is trying to do everything for everybody else except for black people, descendants of slaves, right? As a matter of fact, all the other caucuses make it their business to take care of their people. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of your people. If you're in government, That's what you're there to represent your people, to take care of the specific needs of your people. So, but you got our congressional caucus,
Taking care of everybody
taking
but
care of
us.
everybody else. I showed you the one where you got Jim Clyburn signed off on the bill, HR 1619. All right, HR 1619. So HR 1619 was was created to make sure that some land that was in dispute between the Catawba Indians and the Cherokee Indians went to the Catawba Indians. Meanwhile, he can't do nothing for his own people, the Gullah Geechee people in South
HR
Carolina. They're fighting for
1619,
their land.
something that is relevant to us,
HR
and you
6,
taking care of some Indians?
yeah. So here's the thing, not just some Indians, all right? Indians that were known, the Catawba Indians were known to be known slave
Wow.
catchers back in the day. Yeah, matter of fact, they were so brutal with their tactics that you had escaped slaves saying that they preferred to be caught by white slave owners or white slave catchers than the
Right.
Catawba Indians. And you, part of the Congressional Black Caucus, all right, were proud and was bragging about how you were able to foster a bill to get this land for these people. Don't get me wrong. All right, if
Yeah,
it's their
right.
land,
But
they
you would
deserve it, and that's what they're supposed. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how is it that you can do that, but you can't secure land for Gullah Geechee, the first slaves to ever get the land that they had, right? Now the state of South Carolina was raising the taxes on it so that these corporations and the hospitality industry could come in, swoop up, pay these taxes, because this is
right.
prime beach land and on islands and different things. So that's what they've been fighting. You couldn't do that. Of course, you can't do nothing for reparations, right? See, so like I said, it's all of these people, all right, that we supposed to depend on that just come out and they just use us as a
Make sure
whooping
you
board,
send that
right?
to
For
Goldie, man.
Democratic
Let
vote.
Goldie see what, man. You and Goldie, make sure Leonard has you gonna be blown away, Goldie. The Black Caucus. When the man read everybody else
Well,
caucus, everybody else, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, everybody else gone. The first thing it says in there, we are interested in taking care of what's in the best interest in the present, the now, and the future of Asian, Latino. Well, it made no difference. Whatever caucus it was, when it got to us, ours says we generalize. We got to general. We got
people of
Yeah,
people
we're
of
gonna
color.
take care of everybody.
Well,
All
you
right.
got to realize, all those like that Congressional Black Caucus is a joke. They
Yeah.
operate if in order for see you have a system in this country of white supremacist system.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Any black person that wants to affect real change for our people, you will never make it that high in political office in this white racist system. It's not going to
You
happen.
make a very good point.
They can't fight for. They can't. Like, look, Obama had 8 years.
Yeah. Name one thing
8
he did for us
years.
specifically.
And Negroes went to sleep at the wheel. Obama came in. What are your thoughts on politics, black people? Obama. That's it. That's all they can say. It's Obama. Now they got this Indian from India in the White
Vice President.
House that keeps calling herself a damn black woman, and she's not.
At all.
She's throwing some damn Chuck Taylors, and some pearls. She went somewhere to get something to eat,
Hot sauce.
and black women acted a damn fool. They was wearing some damn Chuck Taylors and pearls. They didn't give a damn about her stance
Right.
on nothing. Oh, she's a black sister girl, black girl magic. She ain't said nothing about black women since she been in office. She went over to the continent of Africa. Everything that's going on in the continent right now. She went over there, and all she wanted to address was them accepting justice.
LBGTQ.
That's why I like when the president of Uganda locked 2 gay dudes up in prison over there. And he said, y'all can get out, one of y'all gets pregnant. That's what he said. When one of them gets pregnant, they get out of prison. Yeah. And it makes sense.
Did he say
Yeah.
that?
You know,
Did he
so
say that for real?
yeah, we nobody is going to get to that level in politics and have our best interests in mind. They didn't get there. These people, they're puppets.
So
Look at Maxine Waters, 90 years old. All these old black politicians has been in there for years. And what
brother,
have
you
they
don't even have to go
accomplished?
that.
We
No,
still
no,
want about them.
we got a couple of them right here
These,
in
these,
Louisville,
these
Kentucky.
guys,
Okay, yeah.
right? What they are gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers for the Democratic Party, and whatever the Democratic
Right.
Party wants, whether and like I said, they connect. And what you're seeing pronounced, outright benign neglect. All right, Dr. Claude Anderson coined that term, benign neglect, where we'll help everybody else. We'll just vamp your energy, use your energy, use your strength. Like I said, this right now is the Democratic Party is being what you have going on right now is you have concern about male black voters
Oh, they
in the
concerned about
Democratic Party because
Oh yeah.
They gone.
nothing
They gone.
nothing that the Democratic Party is talking about does anything to address the male black
Straight
voter. The thing that
heterosexual brother.
is just concerned now black women show up to vote Democratic, but now you're starting to get cracks in that, right? See, so like I said, is and this is not to say,
Run to
well,
the
to
Republican
jump
Party.
Republican
No,
because
we
that's
ain't trying to say
that's the neoconservative party right there. All right. See, so we're on our own here. Okay. We're just by ourselves, just like Dr. John Henry Clark said, say you have no friends. Okay. You don't have no friends. So you got to do it for yourself. So I think, to kind of go along with what Goldie's saying, one of the things we got to consider is what are we prepared to do? That's the question you got to ask. If something were to jump off, right, what are we prepared to do? Are you in physical good shape? Are you in good health? Are you financially stable? How are you prepared to join a movement? Just like I was talking about with the Army, all right? Each individual soldier, all right, in the military has a responsibility to be
right.
combat ready. That means when the balloon goes up
How you
and
rolling?
SIT
What you
hits the
doing?
fan, yeah, are you ready?
How
Are you
prepared
ready
are you?
to defend or do the things you're supposed to
Right.
be able to do? So that's one of the things that we ain't prepared to defend or do nothing. And one of the reasons why is because like what you were saying, Misha, is we're looking for somebody to come and save us. Plain and simple. We have a hard Messiah complex. Bad. We're looking for somebody to come in. I'm not going to do it as long as somebody else can do it and say, you look within our churches. And this is a proven fact. 20% of the church does all of the work. 20% does all of the work. 80% of the
It's
church
rolling
just
and getting
comes.
emotional therapy.
Some donate money.
I call it emotional
Right,
therapy. They come
right,
in there
right.
for
See, so
emotional therapy. Okay.
so 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 exactly. So like I said, is we're not prepared. We're not preparing for the revolution, if that's what you want to call it. Right? We ain't prepared for it. Hey, hey, you remember the song Gil Scott Heron sang? Say the revolution will not be televised. Well, the revolution is being televised. It's on the internet, everything. We just ain't prepared to join. We are not in physical shape, financial shape, spiritual shape, no type of shape to do something to join a cause greater than what we already
So
have. So now, and what's worse than that is people in my generation, your generation, have not prepared the young people to step in and carry the
so
torch.
so let
So that's even
that
worse.
leads as we are coming to the close of gonna and I wanna that leads right into why I wrote my book and go to you. you're gonna start after I make these comments and everything, and then Leonard, you're gonna close us out. You know, I wrote the book, America's Little Black Book. Excuse me. I got influenced by the book, America's Little Black Book by Dr. Noah Shelton, because I was in search of wanting to know who I was. I wasn't very comfortable with the Negro, the Black, and African American. I knew that came from Jesse Jackson, and then the N word. I wouldn't, I can't remember that I saw the generation using the N word. I wasn't very happy with that and everything, but I had to let it go because as they call Generation X, was so sold out saying that was their word. But I'm now seeing the results of it, and then I got a handle of James Baldwin when he said, "I'm not your Negro," and I did a little research on that. And I came to realize here it is. I don't. Goldie, did you know James Baldwin was gay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that
Yep.
initially when I first started reading it. Then I found out, and I thought I'm gonna make a little funny on it, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Here he is. Wrote a book, I'm not your Negro. But when you read into it, what he was saying is that when he went over to the European countries and everything, he was allowed to walk around like all the man he wanted to walk around. They treated him differently. But when he came back to America and everything, and I said, after he had intimate relationships with his European male friends and everything, and they get up and get all cleaned up and everything, they go down to eat and everything, and they remind him he's a what? You can't come to the front door, boy.
Negro.
Hey,
Negro.
you're a Negro. You, but we just been intimate. You just poked me, and I poked you, and you mean tell me? And what he was saying, that's what he was implying. He was saying, here I am, I'm a gay man being involved with these European men, and I'm reminded daily in America that I ain't even good enough, even after I've been intimate with you all, that I'm reminded that I'm a Negro. That's deep. And nobody won't talk about that, but I thought it was quite interesting that that's what he was really saying. And so based on that everything we talking about, man, I'm not this country black. I'm not your Negro, and I'm not that in. We do need to rise up some new brothers, some new men, some new husbands, some new uncles that's going to step up. If not, Goldie, I'm in agreement with you, bro. If something dramatically, majorly, and I was hoping maybe, and I'm still hopeful that the Montgomery, Alabama could be a little twist or a start. But I'm in agreement with you, man. Maybe it wasn't enough because with all the stuff, the prior things that came prior to that, if that didn't do it, then what happened in Montgomery, Alabama ain't gonna do it as well. So we're gonna need something to wake us up. It may not be in my lifetime. Okay, I don't know. May not be. I will hope so. But the primary reason I wrote my book, I'm not your black America, because I'm hoping to give something to those, to give something to change. I want to see some learn to unlearn something. Make America greater than it's ever been. So Goldie, give your closing remarks, and Leonard, you can give yours as we're gonna close this show out.
To be honest, I think for us to come together and make change in this country, I'm just gonna say it. There's got to be a revolution in the church because the church has always been used to keep Negroes docile. And I think once Negroes look at what the European has done to Christianity and religion, I think the hair on the back of most Negroes' necks will stand up. And that's what they use to keep slaves docile. And whenever our people get together in the streets in rightful indignation, first thing they want to do is go grab the popular black pastor and bring them in. Now let's pray. Bow our head in submission to the king, white supremacy. And to be honest, I think that's where it has to start. I think black people in droves have to leave the damn church, which is a worthless organization in our community. We the most churched and holy people on this planet, and we still in the bottom of everything. Right. We the most prayingest people. That's just my opinion.
Well said. Well said. I'm in agreement with you there. I'm in agreement. What you say, Leonard?
I agree with that as well. It's too
Yeah,
much religion. With too much rah rah, too much chill eating, too much religion, too much, wanting to hear some good preaching, being entertained in the church, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's not enough action. It's not enough planning. It's not enough strategy. It's not enough, saying, hey, listen, although we're starting to see more of that now, I mean, it's starting to be more, but the other group of people that you got to watch out for is the
yeah,
scammers. All right. As we feeling ourselves, as we starting to feel ourselves and starting to have more freedom and more opportunities to do stuff, all right, we have to be careful of the scammers out here trying with get rich quick schemes and I can do this, like financial literacy and all of this and all of that. We have that running rampant within our community as well. Scammers, politicians, the church. So really we got to clean up our own house. And that comes from being prepared yourself to serve, right, in this battle in order to get us where we have to go to. And like I said before, is we inherited the struggle. All right. We've inherited the struggle. It is up to us to continue. We're in a better place, but we're not nowhere where we need to be, right? Because we still got issues and problems, right? And some of that, nobody's going to open the sky up. Superman is not coming down to open the sky and save us. Nobody's coming to save us. You want to have religion? That's personal, all right? That's your personal choice, right? No problem. But when it comes to the stuff we got to do in this world in the streets, right? That's where, you got to get up off your ass and do something or be prepared to do something. See, and that's where it comes from. So that's my
and
piece.
I want to thank both of you brothers, and it's actually a good sway right into God's lives matter. When the concept of God's lives matter came about, it was a pushback on the Black Lives Matter. I pushed back on my daughter coming at me, and I told my daughter, you're not in college or you're not successful based because of the color of my skin. You are where you are because I had a belief in God, but my belief in God had nothing to do with me being a religious person. My belief in God had to do with my belief. I was a believer. And so I truly believe both everything that's been said going to have to start with each and every one of us who's are individual believers in that we believe in. What are you willing to put yourself out there for to create change? What are you willing to do to make it? Are you a true believer in that thing? And if I had to say something to some folks and everything, because I've been catching a lot of smack about the fact that I'm more outspoken than I ever was before. Can you imagine that? I'm even more outspoken than I ever been now since I wrote my book. And I tried to tell them, I realized that everything that I've accomplished based on faith. I won my lawsuit. I found myself a good woman. I'm financially debt free. I mean, everything was based on faith and belief, and I put myself out there. So I do believe it starts with you, the individual, and then you surround yourself with good brothers like the brothers I have on this podcast. We're all believers. We are not church folk. I'm going to speak for myself. I know I'm not a church folk. Okay. I haven't been in the church or belonged to anybody membership in over 20 plus years. And God has been good to me and my household. Okay. So I'm just keeping it 100. So with that being said, go, you want to say something to that? I didn't see you want to say
I just hey, once you step out of religion and step into
something?
spirituality, your life changes.
Yeah,
And there's a reason. There's more. You go to any church, black church across the country, is full of
right.
women, full of
Women.
women, because we ain't for that
All that
emotional crap that they
yeah,
selling
yeah, yeah.
us.
Leonard, you want to say something that
Yeah.
as we close it out, man? I knew you want to say something that because I would say something for Leonard. Leonard told me, because me and him, he was a rock star. he's, he was a rock star in the
Yeah.
religious community.
I was deep into the church as well, but I think what I did is I didn't leave the church. I evolved,
Mm.
right? I
Yes,
evolved. Is I'm a
yes,
spiritual person myself, but like I said, if I keep that to myself, that's my spirituality, and that's what moves me. But the thing is I'm not trying to
Right.
build the church. All right. I'm trying to
Right.
build a people.
And that's
Okay.
everybody.
Trying to build a nation. And in doing and in doing that, there's some things now I believe in blessing our endeavors. All right. You know, whatever entity you want to pray to bless your endeavor, pray to that entity. But when it comes time to do the work, okay, and do the real things that we got to do, all right, there's a time and place for that. You say, hey, now I got to perform. If God has given me able body, able limbs, a good mind,
To
good
make it
sight,
happen,
good hearing, all of this kind of stuff and ability, then I got to
that's
put it
right.
to use. All right. See, so that's the part we got with no sitting back waiting. Oh, I'm just going to sit here and wait for God to appear to do everything for me. No, that's not how it works. God created you
It
to do
gave
it
it
for
to you,
yourself. All right. And
and
that's
you
what
got
you
to
got
go
to
work
do.
it out. And you got to represent that wisdom, that opportunity, that respect, the responsibility, and that knowledge, which is the acronym for the word work. And with that being said, each and every one of us, when you listen to this podcast, I want you to know that you can make a donation to God's Lives Matter. You can drop something in there. Hey, I ain't mad at you there. I will tell you that I will be doing anything I can to make a difference in everybody's life, because on the back of my shirt it says every life created by our creator, every life created by our creator, every life created by our creator has infinite value, and that means you and you. So thank you for being here. This is Uncle Meshaw coming at you from Louisville, Kentucky. This has been the Conversation Family. Welcome to the family. See you back here next week. Don't go nowhere, Goldie. You go away too quickly. Lee, go away again.
Jody got a he got a grandchild he got to try
Yeah.
to deal with.
Hey,